Page 13, chords. There is a disagreement on just what the definition of a chord is. I'll just get this out right now because you're going to hear different people saying different things. I'm not going to get into the argument. There are some people who say a chord has to be 3 or more notes. There are other people, like me, and actually this book, that says a chord is 2 or more notes. Now, in most cases, it takes at least 3 notes to identify a chord. Not all, but most it does. But that has nothing to do with whether it's a chord or not. Because I can play 2 notes in one hand and the same 2 notes in the other hand. Well, that's 4 notes total. I don't know what the chord is yet, but I played 4 notes, so it must be a chord, huh? No. I call 2 or more notes a chord, and if you disagree, that's fine, more power to you, but throughout my videos, if I reference a chord, it's 2 or more notes. 2 or more notes for what? What are you talking about? Well, look at the first line in the chord studies. There's calling them solid chords. Another word is block chord. A block, B-L-O-C-K, block chords. It's where you play the notes all at the same time. Now, in written music, generally speaking, if the notes line up vertically, above each other, you play them at the same time. So here, in this line, you have to figure out what the notes are, and what you do is you spell out the chord. Start with the bottom note, just concentrate on the bottom note, and what is that? Well, it happens to be a C. I hope you already know the names of the notes. And it's this C on the piano. It's not just any C, because it's a bass clef, it's this C. Now, we don't know which hand is going to play it. That's not important. We're just after the notes. I could play this with the right hand if I wanted to. I'm just too lazy, and it's easier to reach with the left hand down here. So the next note up, going up 1 note, that's an E here. And then that third note, that's a G here. That's the chord. So I can play that chord. I play all the notes at one time. And that's how you do that. They're giving you the finger numbers. They don't have to, but generally speaking, for now, you'll use those finger numbers, the 3, 5, 1, in a 3-note chord like this. Not always, but right now, go ahead. Now, playing a chord technique-wise, and I don't teach much technique in these videos, but technique-wise, you don't use the fingers to try and push the chord down. You put your hand in the position you need it, put your fingers, lift the other fingers up out of the way, and you simply drop the whole hand down. Lower the whole hand down, and the notes should sound if you do that. The idea is listen carefully so they all sound at the same time, and that's the hard part. I'm not very good at that, but hopefully you can get it. It takes practice. Keep trying to work on it. You'll get it eventually. And that is a block chord. In this case, it's called a C chord. A C chord is simply a chord, in this case a triad or a chord. It's a 3-note chord where the bottom note is C, and the other notes is every other key. So it's here, here, and here. So that's a C chord. I could get involved in this, and I will later on, but right now, just learn it this way. It's a C chord. Now, solid chords or block chords, they're at the same time. In line 2, we have broken chords. It doesn't mean broken as in busted. It means broken as in you're not playing them all at the same time. You're playing some other pattern. And in line 2, the pattern is... we get away with calling it a chord, even though it's 1 note at a time, because the brain will hear the notes played near each other. They'll still hear a note that's been played, and it'll get the harmony. You mentally get the harmony even though you're not playing the notes at the same time. You can hear this when you play this. You still hear those notes, and the brain puts it together. Just take my word for it. It works like that. Okay, so it's a broken chord. In line 3, it's another broken chord, slightly different pattern. Where they're just stuck in a half note. I mean, there's all kinds of patterns for broken chords. You can go bottom, top, middle, top. This is common. So it doesn't matter what the pattern is. The point is you've got these notes together and they make a chord. You will learn to identify these patterns in the music and eventually just, oh, that's a C chord, I can do that. And you don't have to worry about all those notes because you just know that's a C chord and you know what a C chord is. It is important to learn the chords, and we will cover it as we go through these videos. Now the fourth line is a combination of block and broken and all that, so you can do that on yourself. I want to talk about this line at the bottom, this music at the bottom. There's no title for it. It says CD track 6 in my book. I haven't listened to the CD. I don't plan on it. I don't know what's on it. I don't care what's on it. I'm just going to talk about this as I understand it. And hopefully I'm close to what's on the CD. Now in this piece, we have, for the first time, both hands playing at the same time. This is where it starts getting interesting. You see, your hands are a mirror image of each other. So they want to mirror each other. What one hand does, the other hand wants to do exactly the same. So if I play a thumb in one hand, it's easy to play the thumb in the other. Simple to do. Well, look at the beginning of this first measure. You're not doing that. Both hands are going up. Well, you're playing a little finger in the left hand and a thumb in the right, and then the next note, so you're playing different fingers in each hand at the same time. And I can remember when I was little and I started tackling this, I got all confused. I was all thumbs. No matter what I did, it was, ugh. But very slowly, you keep working on it, and eventually the brain gets trained to do this. And it will happen if you'll just be patient and work it. You have in the right hand, and they have RH and LH there to tell you they don't need that. Music normally won't have that. You'll just normally play the right hand in the top staff and the left hand in the bottom staff because it's convenient. The right hand is closer to the top of the keyboard. It's convenient. The left hand, so we do it that way. But look at the right hand here. Your first note is a middle C. You're putting your thumb on that, so we're going to be, looks like C position to me, here. And the left hand, the little finger's on C down below, here. So you're in C position here, so both hands are in C position. But when you start playing this, it's thumb in one and little finger in the other. Then the next note, you're going to play fourth finger and second finger. And this fun, now middle fingers go together, that's handy. And then it switches. And then up. Wouldn't hurt you just to practice going up and down. Forget the music. Just try and just focus on the keyboard and go up and down. So you kind of get an idea of a feel of what that feels like to play these together like that. Because it'll help you. When you play these pieces for now, I would encourage you not to look at the keyboard, but keep your eyes on the music. It's important that you learn to feel your way around the keyboard and what these feel like. So as I'm playing this, I'm going to keep my eyes up away from the keyboard. And there's no music, you're just playing a little exercise. Stare at the wall or close your eyes or something. Just don't always be looking down. Learn where the keys are. At the top of at the beginning of this, above the top staff, there's a little C, or it's actually a capital C, but there's a C there. I don't know which way you're going. Is it a C or is that a C? That means use a C chord, or in the key, it's a C chord. Now that is not a C chord. Those 5 notes together is not a C chord. But the point is you could play a C chord with them and it would work. So if you have a guitar player around wants to play along, they would read those chord symbols, we call them, and they could play along with you. You know, they would improvise something on a C chord as you play this. And that can be fun if you got somebody around who can do that, really. So doesn't affect how we're going to play this though, but I want you to understand what that C means. Let's try this out. Now remember the phrasing? Between the phrases, you're going to lift and drop. Just a little bit of silence between each phrase is all. I'll give us 4 counts. Put your hands in C position, both of them. And good luck. 1, 2, ready, go. 1,